Welcome to Computer Retro Bus. In today's episode, we are looking at the NVIDIA Quadro2 Pro, a GeForce2 based card, which is pretty awesome. So stick around, we'll look at this card, where it sits in GeForce2's lineup and why it's probably one of the best. Now this is a bit of a gem. When it was released, it was by far the most expensive card in the whole GeForce2 lineup, aimed for graphics workstations and people that had lots of money and the company paid for it, no retail gamer would ever spend this much. Now, trying to get hold of a fast GeForce 2, like a GeForce2 Ultra or Pro or GTS, is a bit more difficult these days. GeForce 2 MXs, yeah, they're everywhere, but trying to find the higher end is a bit more tougher. But these Quadro 2, maybe you can get hold of one of these. These are really good. So here it is. I believe this was out of a Dell OEM box. So great card, comes with, heat sinks for the RAM. This is not the original fan, this is a replacement. I've got two of these cards and both of the fans were completely seized up. So I think it's a common failure. So normal fan is a green aluminium job. But yeah, great card. Comes with 64 meg of RAM. This one's in fantastic condition, as we can see. Comes with DVI and VGA, made for those professional workstations. So fantastic all-round card.
So in the year 2000, NVIDIA releases the GeForce 2, and it is awesome. Starting with the GeForce2 GTS, coming in at $350. At the end of the same year, they released the GeForce2 Pro for $399. This was an in-between measure for the Big Daddy, which was the GeForce2 Ultra, which was actually released before that in August 2000. Coming in at a whopping $499. But in late 2000 for OEM partners and about March 2001 for retail, they announced the Quadro 2 Pro. And it came in at a cracker. $1,000 at announcement, but then they were really about $1,200 to $1,500 if you bought them retail. So this is serious money. When you factor this in, it's about double. So it's about $2,000 in today's dollars. So being a workstation card, it was really focused on wireframe rendering, large CAD scenes, OpenGL acceleration, and specifically stability in a professional environment. So much so that, people would buy GeForces and try and mod them into Quadros. It's ironic that we actually do it the other way around now. So why do I think this is one of the best GeForce 2 based cards made? Let's have a look. So when NVIDIA makes these cards, they don't make a separate chip for every single model. It's actually the same chip, and in this case, it's the NV15. They're all made on the same silicon wafer, but not every chip is perfect, and they all get tested, and depending on how they perform, it will be decided on which card they live in. This is what's called the binning process. And in this process, the Quadro cards were the highest quality selected because they were going into very expensive workstation cards that needed to be absolutely reliable. So here we are, this is a list of all the cards with the NV15 GPU. So all GeForce 2 based cards, and the only difference really is the memory configuration and also the GPU clock and memory clock. And we can see it right out of the box, the Quadro 2 Pro is identical in specifications to the GeForce 2 Ti. So here's our test system, Payne 3, 933 MHz with 256 meg RAM on a VIA Apollo Pro chipset. Let's get to some benchmarking and we'll start with 3D Mark. So I ran 3D Mark 2000 and I got quite the surprise. Surprisingly low, 4,620. This just did not make any sense. This is GeForce 2 MX scores. It really had me confused. So I figured maybe it needs more juice. So I proceeded to give it an aggressive overclock. I'm talking 320 megahertz for the core and 534 for the memory. I figured if this doesn't do it, nothing will. And what was the result? 4,643. 20 points more? Unbelievable. So something was clearly just not right here. Next, I figured, I'll give a game a go. So I fired up Max Payne to have a look at what sort of frame rates I was going to get. And you know what? Same story. I'm getting GeForce 2 MX frame rates here. This is ridiculous. I reinstalled everything, formatted the system, tried again, and nah. So I really think the CPU and system was bottlenecking this. I really needed to move it up. Yeah, look, I think I'm just not getting the performance that I expect from this card out of this system, and I really feel like it's holding it back. So I'm going to try something else and move up to something a little bit more higher spec. Okay, so this is an NVIDIA 2 based Athlon XP 2000 system. So a much more solid foundation, which I think hopefully should show us more what this Quadro Pro can really do. Okay, so we're on the Athlon 2000 system now. Gonna go with standard clocks and let's see what the difference is and if the system was really holding it back. Oh my God, look at these frame rates. This is looking pretty impressive already. Oh wow, look at this score. 9,303, that is a massive jump. So I think my suspicions were correct. The other system was really holding this back. you know, I've got to overclock it and go again. Let's see what numbers we can get. I'm going to go for a middle of the road overclock here because I really want to make sure that this is going to be stable because I'm going to do all the rest of the games at these same clocks. So this is above Ultra speeds. The Ultra was 250 for the core and 460 for the memory. So this is much higher than the Ultra. But you know what? Because this is a Quadro card and the quality, I have pushed this card pretty hard. I've pushed this up to 320 for the core and 530 for the memory. And you know what? It ran. Oh my, look at that score. 10,913. That is a 17% increase. Wow, what an overclock. This is brilliant, you know? Okay, I'm gonna move on to the games, and you know what? I'm gonna leave it overclocked. Let's see. Okay, let's start from 1999 with Quake 3. All right, so 1024, 768, Quake 3. Let's give it a good old time demo. Oh, wow. It's looking great already. Oh, yeah, look at that. 173 frames per second. That's awesome. Okay, let's go into a game. All right, these frame rates looking pretty damn good. Yeah, look at these frame rates. Oh, yes. You know, game like this, you really want good frame rates. High-paced, fast action. Yeah, so now we can really see the difference of buying the top-end GeForce versus the bottom end. So, I mean, this is even beyond ultra speed. Yeah, so here we go. Look at this one. Look at the whole map. 90 frames per second. That's pretty damn good. Oh, yeah. Just, you know, just allows you to... Just gives you that extra edge. Nice and snappy. Look at these railgun shots. Yeah, these frame rates are very impressive indeed. Looking great. What a great start. Okay, Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed. I'm going to crank up the resolution. All right, let's go. 1024, 768. This is phenomenal. This is almost double the frame rate. Just really shows you what a massive performance leap it was from the lowest GeForce 2 to the top GeForce 2, and this is the top of the top because it's overclocked. Yeah, this, oh, so smooth. This is fantastic. Oh, it just feels so nice and responsive as well. Graphics looking great. It's so sharp at these resolutions. Love the little lens flare as we turn that corner. Oh, I tell you, it's amazing how enjoyable the game is when it's just runs so well like this. This game came out in the year 2000, same year as this card, but you can see it absolutely crushes it. Oh, just like my horrible driving. I imagine that if you were one of the lucky few that owned a GeForce2 Ultra in the year 2000, yeah, this is what you would be experiencing. Okay, how about some Return to Castle Wolfenstein? All right, so let's go 102, 768. All right, frame rate is pretty high, 90s, but this is a hallway. You know, very basic in here, even on the GeForce 2 MX. Let's see how we go once we get out into the real action. And oh my God, it's not dropping below 90. I think that might be the frame cap, to be honest. Yeah, look at this. It is not going to go under 80, that's for sure. Wow. Yep. Handles it with absolute ease. This game was released in 2001, 1 year after this card. Absolute blockbuster of a game. And yeah, I just remember this stage was one of my favorites. It's got such a nice feel to it. Real James Bond or World War II movie. That frame rate is not budging, isn't it? 9091. Yeah, this card is not breaking a sweat at all. All right, let's go some Max Payne. Oh, these frame rates are ridiculous. My God. It just goes to show what a massive difference having a good processor does help. I know we're always very focused on the video card, but it really does need a good system to drive it. The frame rate will take a bit of a hit when it has way more objects to render. Here we go. There we go. Now we're a bit more realistic frame rates here. This is fantastic. If I recall with the GeForce MX cards, this was usually in the 30s around here. So this is triple. So much easier to play when you get these sorts of frame rates though. It's just nice and snappy. Save and load. Save and load a lot of this game is because yeah, sometimes some parts are really tough. From this angle is when the frame rate tends to drop the most because you're looking at the whole street, the cars, all those sorts of things. Yeah, it really does make it nice and easy to snipe. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Alright, so this game, so we're moving to 2002 now. So 2 years after this card was released, and this game usually makes the GeForce 2 cards come to a crawl. So let's have a look. Let's see how we're going to go with this one. Oh my god, this is insane. This usually is 9 or 10 frames per second on a GeForce 2 MX. So this is, wow, 4 times. This is unbelievable. Game is very playable. This is a massive surprise. I can't believe how well it's handling it. I mean, I obviously expected an improvement, but this is just day and night. This is amazing. Oh, look at this. Wow. Still got way more in it. I never expected these sorts of frame rates from any GeForce 2 card. Yeah, wow. But you know, look, we do have to give credit to the system. I have got a very powerful processor, an Athlon 2000. So I think that's the big factor. This card really does need the grunt of a powerful system to push it. It just scales unbelievably. If I was running this on the same test bed as I did the other cards, I would seriously doubt I'd have this sorts of frame rates. Well, I can't get over how great these frame rates are. This is amazing. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, running like a dream. This is awesome. All right, let's try Unreal Tournament 2003. Released in 2002, again 2 years after this card. Let's have a look how we go. All right, let's do some plunge. I know this map generally challenges graphics cards because there's a lot on the screen all at once. Let's have a look. These frame rates look good. All right, let's get outside. This is where it starts to challenge it when you start looking across this map because there's a lot of objects, a lot of geometry. But it's looking pretty good. It's handling it very well. Yeah, these frame rates are very good. This game was pretty much unplayable with the MX-based cards. And while the frame rate isn't, absolutely outstanding, it is very much playable. These sorts of areas where there's not much going on. Somebody is who you're shooting. Look at this. Oh no. Yeah, it really does fluctuate quite a bit. Look at this. We're in the 90s, 80s here. But once we get to areas where we're looking across the whole map, or there's a lot of other buildings in the background, it does take a hit. Here we go, like 40, 30, because we've got, all that geometry in the background there going on. Yeah, Curse is a great map. It's a more closed map, not large areas to render. So this one generally is a bit more favorable to frame rates. Let's have a look. Yeah, look, so we can see the frame rates are much more stable. 80s, 90s. Yeah, this is great. Very good. Yeah, I think it's actually put the details up by default as well. Because when I come into this room, you can see these lovely reflections of the water. That looks so nice. Very cool. But yeah, look at that, going great. The Quadro2 Pro. What a card. So there it is. What a card. I can't believe how well it overclocked and that extra performance that you got out of the overclock. Very, very worthwhile. But, you really do need a system with a good foundation to unleash its true potential. So yeah, highly recommended. Great. If you can get hold of one of these, it's an excellent alternative for a GeForce2 Ultra and much more. So yeah, definitely grab one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Had a lot of fun making it, as always. If you'd like to support my channel, there are links in the description. Thank you to everybody that does. Really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you again, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.